Welcome to Band Geek. I'm Richie Castellano. Joining me today is my cousin Phil Castellano.
McClunky!
And you know, we weren't gonna do a podcast. I was gonna wait for Muff, but I'm sorry, Jarrett. But Jarrett's a little under the weather, so I didn't want to wait any longer. And also, Ray just came to return my Helix.
Thank you.
And it just so happened 3 big Star Wars fans were in the same room together. So so we decided to do a live stream. Yes, this is live. You will see your stuff on the screen, so you can yell at us if you disagree with us. So yeah, we haven't been doing non-music episodes, but I figured this is a Star Wars movie. It's the last one, and a few people were asking. I mean, not many, but I see in the chat already some people wanted to see us do it. So any kind of non-Star Wars questions, I guess I'll answer at the end, because right now we're going to do the business of why we're here. But let's give a little background very quickly. How big of a Star Wars fan are you, Ray?
Grew up on Star Wars. You know what? You know who could probably answer this question better than me is my fiance, because she hates me right now because all I've been doing is watching Star Wars videos and Galaxy's Edge videos.
You know how big of a fan he is? His real name is Bob, but he changed it to Ray for the movie.
He loves Ray.
It's R-E-Y. So there you go. You've been a lifelong fan of the movie, and also if you recognize Ray, it's because he was on our Yes episode where we did Heart of the Sunrise and The Calling. So Ray's a legit band geek.
And the other guy that wore the curly wig for a Spinal Tap.
Oh yeah, you were on the Spinal Tap show.
Yeah,
Duh. He was Viv Savage. And Phil was on our Hotel California video, which has over 1 million views. Phil is on our Disney video. You're on a bunch of videos.
The early stuff, a lot of the early stuff.
And you're on some of our other review videos. Okay, so let's get into it. This is, before we get started, I'm not even going to bother doing here's my spoiler-free review. This is going to have spoilers. Like, right now, there are spoilers. So, you have been warned. Spoilers. If you don't want the movie to get spoiled, if you haven't seen it yet, stop watching this. And then come back later, okay?
I still can't believe Darth Vader is Luke's
Hey, Julius!
Oh, Julius!
Julius, what's up?
Hey!
Hi, Jules.
No, it's Julius.
Is that Jules' son?
Junior.
Junior. Great drummer.
Yep.
I saw the video.
Julius, you didn't see the movie yet. You should stop watching this right away because I'm about to spoil the movie. Oh, hi Terry, it's Ray's mom. Oh, we can't. We can't curse now. Okay, so what's the best way to do this? Should we start with like the out of 10 score?
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to do it. Like,
All
might
right.
as well get a feel for it.
So, Ray, out of 10.
No, I'm not going first. You're going first.
No, I'm not going first.
You're going first. Because
Okay.
I'm the only one here. You'll see in the second one.
All
I'm the
right,
only
Phil,
one.
you go first.
You know what? When I first saw it and it ended for me, my immediate thought was 8 out of 10. And then the more I sit there and think about it, the lower that number goes, but not so dramatically. It goes slowly down. So right now I'm probably sitting at like a 6.5 out of 10 for me. Or like a 7 out of 10.
I'm at a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
See, now I'm actually surprised you're even a 6.
Why? I like things.
I think I'm a solid... One bite, everybody knows the rules. 7.7 out of 10. Like, honestly, that's
What's
like...
with the points? It's a simple thing. You just pick...
Because if you say 8, it's like, that's a really good score, but if you say 7, you feel like you lax in a little bit, and then 7.5
Oh, wait.
whack.
Jarrett's here. Jarrett,
see?
Jarrett, weigh in. Jarrett, if you want, FaceTime me right now from wherever you are, and I'll put you on camera. All right?
So there could be 3 against 1.
Yeah. No.
That's the real reason Jarrett's
but
not
what's
here. They
funny?
have to replace him with a guy that liked the movie.
What's funny is, Jarrett, I thought that you and I agreed on this, and I thought that I was going to represent your interests in this, but I guess not.
Dude, he hated it.
He hates it.
Right after the movie was over, I looked at him and I saw his face and I looked at my fiance and I go, nope, I don't want to talk to Jarrett right now.
Oh, I should back this up. We went with 17 people to see the movie. We just bought out 2 rows of the movie theater. It was cool.
Which you should really mention that we've pretty much been doing that since '99.
Yeah,
with episode 1.
That's
and
right.
Every time a Star Wars movie came out, he was always the first one to call me like, okay, how many tickets do you need? And you're like, every single time you've always.
I have to tell you though, that's my favorite thing about these movies. It's like at this point, I don't even care if the movie's good anymore. It's like I just want the experience of going there with my friends
Yeah.
and seeing a new Star Wars movie for the first time.
I agree.
That
was a lot different 20 years ago though. It was like people with lightsabers and cheering at every single
Yeah.
scene, and now it's like a little laid because it's the reclining chairs. Everybody's too comfortable. They don't
yeah,
want to get up and cheer.
it's a different vibe. But it's the Ray's reading the chat.
I am.
I like the whole experience. Now, here's Leon's on the chat.
Leon!
Leon came with us. Leon is a great friend of mine who is actually co-producing my movie with me, and more on that later. Another thing I want to say first before we get started. If you haven't done so already, please go over to Andy Ascalise's Kickstarter page. Andy Ascalise, I know a lot of people watch the band Geeks on YouTube and they say, oh, all you do is covers. Try writing original music. Well, Andy is, and he needs your help. So if you want to go pre-order a CD or throw him a couple bucks, go to Andy's Facebook page or his YouTube page, or just go look up Andy Ascalise Kickstarter on Google and show him your love so he can make this happen. I've heard the music. It's amazing. So please make sure you do that.
I am so excited about that.
Me too.
Side note, very excited for Andy. That's a long time coming.
Chibwe.
Yeah.
Long time coming.
Okay, so let's get into it.
I'm so afraid I'm
wanna-
gonna get ganged up on.
I want to talk. Can I go first?
Yeah.
And I want to talk about what I liked first. Okay, I actually had a great time at the movies. I was in. I enjoyed the movie until. I thought the movie was very stupid, but I was having a really good time, and I just bought into all of it, right? I bought all into all of it until the confrontation at the end with Palps. When that happened, to me, as somebody who just finished writing a script, I wrote 8 drafts of the same script, so I've been through this process where it's like, oh, I can't put that in here because this ruins this, or oh, I just painted myself in a corner. Where do I go?
Right.
When she showed up and Palp gave the whole spiel about, oh, if you kill me, that's what I want, right? I'm like, they just create. But
So did that ruin the whole movie for you?
No.
Everything up to that?
I liked the movie up to that.
Okay.
But what happened is as soon as they got to that point with the two of them together, I'm like, they're gonna have to do something spectacular to get out of this because they've really built up to this point where it's like this. They can't cop out now. They have to fully commit to this, right? So the only way at that point, I know we're going out of sequence. I really don't want to do the whole movie,
top to
the
bottom
whole
thing.
top to bottom thing. It's like
We've been there.
Yeah, and you could watch 100 other YouTube videos on that. But I was like, you know what? This is probably going to end badly. They have to do something very spectacular. And me and Phil were like Thelma and Louise. And we're holding hands in the movie theater. Let's reenact it. We're just like this, right? Because we thought as soon as the voices happened, as soon as the voices came up, we wanted what I think every Star Wars fan in the world was hoping was going to happen. A big blue glowy fight.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like there's Luke, there's Mace Windu, Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth Maul as on the Sith side, Darth Vader against Anakin Skywalker, all the people who were ever Jedi, and all the people when he said I'm all the Sith, well I'm all the Jedi. Okay, let's have a big force battle because the last 2 movies were just all they kept showing us is that if you're not really dead once you die, no one's really gone, and the other thing is that spirits have force powers that can affect the living world.
Yeah, they keep making blue glowies more and more powerful. There's no benefit. There's a benefit, a super benefit to being dead now. It's
So I kept thinking and I don't think I'm alone in this because a lot of this stuff I've been looking at on YouTube, people have the same sentiment that I thought that they were going to actually show up, not just voices. It was almost like the voice thing was a cop out, and then the ultimate cop out was when there's a few it was going so well, even though the premise was completely stupid and the whole scavenger hunt was completely stupid and it was just dumb, but it was still fun. I was like, okay, this could be cool. This could they're really building to something, and they just said nah, and they just they pulled a crouching tiger, which he dives off the mountain. That's what the plot of this movie did. They just she's sitting there, she's just like woo, but okay, a couple ways that happened. Number one. She kills the Emperor so easily. Like,
yeah.
and she kills him the same way he lost to Mace Windu.
Just stop shooting the lightning, yo.
See, I'm gonna intervene here a little bit. So here's where you're right and you're wrong. For me, you're right and you're wrong. I agree. I think that whole thing was pushed. It went too fast, and there should have been some sort of bigger battle than what there was, and whatnot.
Oh, hold on a second. We have a caller.
Oh, that's the face. That's the face at the end of the movie.
All right, go, Jarrett.
I've been making this face for 2 weeks now. Look at my very chapped lips and my weird eyeballs. I'm the Emperor. If you... I gave it 3 out of 10 for Leia's lightsaber and her force training. C-3PO, I thought was dope. And I forgot what the other one was, but maybe 2 out of 10. Ray is right. I fucking hated it.
Wait, Muff. So if there were 10 things you liked about this movie, you would have given it a 10?
Maybe. There's so much standing on spaceships and more horses and ooh, look, there's a coin behind your ear, but it's a lightsaber. I'm your kooky uncle who can do close-up magic.
If you were feeling better right now, Jarrett, I had like a whole idea of how to set this episode up. I was gonna have you at home making a sandwich, right? And you say, "Oh crap, I need mayo," and you would have called me, "Richard, you got mayo?" And I would have handed the mayo over my back, and then you'd have picked it over your back.
So terrible. Oh God, it was so terrible. Here, I'm even gonna tell you the extreme that I went to. I owned Force Awakens and Last Jedi on Blu-ray, and I just gave them both away.
Oh, you're a real man.
Because I don't want to watch them. I'm not gonna watch them anymore.
Oh my God, I have to figure out a better way to hold this. Grab me a mic stand over there in the corner. Just grab a regular straight stand.
I can't see what I'm going
I'm
to
sorry I'm making this difficult, friends.
No, it's right over there by the door. Here, take this off of there.
Everybody that's watching at home, I'm sick,
Take the
so
middle
I
part.
didn't want to get Richie ill. Because if I get Richie
Oh, man down. Gone forever.
McClunky.
McClunky!
This is so upsetting to hear him talk like this. Jarrett, honestly, I am really. It hurts First of all, I'm gonna say something. The face he's making now was honestly the face I expected you to make before I even saw the movie. I expected Richie to make that face going into the movie. I was like, no matter how this goes, Richie's gonna make that face of, and it was you, and I was surprised.
Okay, well, let me say something. Oh, Spo's here. You know what, Spo? Call Phil on his FaceTime, and you can be right over here.
Well, no, if they have iPhones, there's a way you can double up FaceTime.
No, but I can't remember what were we talking about again. Star Wars.
I think so.
I just want to say one more quick
What?
thing. The plot, regardless of me nitpicking it, because I'll nitpick it for 3 hours, but everybody the day after was like, "Did you like Star Wars? Did you like it?" And I said, it felt, without spoiling it, I said, when a 7-year-old kid comes to tell you a story and they tell you so fast and then they keep jumping back and forth details to details, so they're like so there's Jedi and the Emperor's there but they're in the desert and stormtroopers can fly and then they have to find these things and Darth Vader was there but not really but that's the
Even though I hate that he hated the movie, I'm so glad he FaceTimed you right
so
now.
funny.
So glad you
That's so
FaceTimed,
funny.
man.
It's so accurate.
That's how it felt to me. It felt.
So
like
how about that
everything
Ghostbusters
was-
trailer? Because I don't even want to talk about
No,
Star
no,
Wars
no, no, no,
anymore.
no. Okay.
No, this is Star Wars, so you guys keep going, but I just needed to chime in.
So the other thing I didn't that I really wanted to start off with what I did like, before I jumped into this, but I think I said this to you in the movie theater. I said, "Oh my God, it's Endgame." Like on your left, you know what I mean? Like when all the ships showed up, and then he just like, nope, lightning.
And then Tony says, Ray says, I am all the Jedi.
But okay, let me talk about. I had a really good time in it, and I'll tell you what the thing I really liked about it was Adam Driver.
Yes.
Holy crap!
He was great.
Was he good?
What a delight.
Like he really won me over, and when I first saw him in The Force Awakens, I'm like, I don't know about this guy, but his physicality and with the lightsaber stuff was amazing.
I thought he was really he was the guy that progressively got better over all three movies.
Definitely.
1,000%. I didn't like him in the first one. I thought it was like a little whiny crybaby.
Yeah.
And it was a little too much for me, but him in 8 was a lot better. Him in 9 killed it. And it made 8 and 7 even better.
Mark Michalak, I think that was still Anthony Daniels.
Yeah, I was just reading that. That's
Yeah.
why I was confused. I'm pretty sure it was Anthony Daniels.
Mhm. So
is Anthony Daniels is he the only one to be in all of the canon movies? Like the
I
whole
believe he
saga?
is. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
He was on Kimmel, and they said he was the only person to be in all 9 films.
It would Peter Mayhew would have joined that too. Because there's
No, they
no
replaced
Chewbacca
him
in
in
episodes 1 and
7.
2.
Yeah, but also he's not in this one. He's
Right. No,
Right.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It would have. That's why I said it would have been. But
so, I'm just trying to think of things I liked about it because I think it's the best one out of the new 3.
Yeah, I agree.
I enjoyed it the most. I think what I said usually the first thing I say after the movie ends is what I stick with. Like when Force Awakens ended, me and you looked at each other and we went like,
What's going on?
there's a word for that.
What?
It's called stubborn. It's like
But
once I
anyway-
make my mind up, I'm not going to change it.
No, but I'm saying it usually stays around, hovers around there.
Yeah.
But the thing I said was like, well, he did the best he could with what he had.
Yeah.
He
was in a corner.
But I don't want to give him too much credit for that because he was in a corner that he put himself in. So it's like you don't get a pat on the back for writing yourself out of a corner that you half put yourself in. And the impression I get from these movies, right?
Right.
Now, the impression I get is that these movies are not a trilogy. They're a rap battle between 2 directors who are having a rap diss battle, right? That's what they're doing. So here's my dramatization of how the creation of this trilogy happened. It's they say, "Ooh, we're gonna do a trilogy." Okay, J.J. Abrams writes something. Well, let's just worry about what it's about later. Like let's do some things that feel good for people. Let's pay it off. Let's do something nostalgic. Let's give people what they want to see, right? And we'll kind of just fill it in as we go.
You just said a very specific set of words. Let's give people what they want to see. How much do you think the fans trolling since the first one?
Oh, a lot. We're gonna get to that.
Changed the course of these movies.
Totally. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. But so he said, okay, let's do this, and let's make some new characters. And there's a Snoke, and there's Rey, and there's Finn, and there's Poe. It's like let's do all this cool stuff, and Kylo Ren. And then he goes, and obviously I can't imagine how much work it is to make a Star Wars movie, to direct a Star Wars. It's probably insane. So J.J. Abrams is like, okay, peace out. I set it up for you. There's a lot of ways you can go. And they hand it off to Rian Johnson, who goes, well, I don't want to do any of this. He goes, this is not the movie I want to make. I'm not really interested in this. And so he picked it up. He went in a totally different direction, and it got a negative response from people. So now Disney doesn't want to have. They don't want to make a movie that people don't like. They don't want the bad press. They don't want to. People tanked. They tanked Solo because of Last Jedi. They tanked it. They tanked a Star Wars movie because they were pissed off. So there's that, and then they say, okay, JJ, you got to come back. You got to come back and right the ship. So I felt like the first, at least third of that movie was him going, running, sprinting through the movie. just either addressing fan hate outrage like on social media or undoing Ryan Johnson stuff like, oh, the Hold On Mooniverse, that's 1 in a million. It's like, Ray, come with Rose, come with us. Nah, I'm busy.
They totally Jar Jar Rose.
Yeah, and like basically he just started running through the movie, and I have to say something. It reminded me of something. It reminded me of Justice League, right?
Oh,
And do you remember how Justice League was like running through the movies like, let's go over here. There's no casualties. Like,
Release the Snyder Cut.
absolutely. But to my surprise, the same writer is on both of those movies.
Oh yeah.
Chris Terrio.
Yeah, Chris Terrio. You're right.
It's like he's the fixer guy they bring in, but it's like he does it, but he does it at like.
Well, maybe that's another big problem with these kind of movies that there's a lot riding on stuff is too many parties. It's like anything on Staten Island. It's like if I have a good idea, then 17 people want to jump in on Staten Island, and it never happens because everybody wants a part of it, and then it just falls apart.
Scott Goriup, he just said something I agree with. Felt like they were making it up as they go.
Yep.
You know what this movie confirmed for me? This is
Go
what
ahead.
this is what I was really hoping for. I was hoping for when I was done with this movie, I go, oh, that's why they did that. Like, oh my God, The Last Jedi is so much better now because this is why Luke did that, or this is why we had to have that Canto Bite scene. Like all this stuff, like that they were really setting it up, and we were just too dumb to see it. Like we couldn't see it, and that they were just really building. But after seeing
there's
this
a big
movie,
part of this we're forgetting to mention is that they did like 3 months worth of reshoots. So,
and it feels like it.
but that's why it feels like it's running through or making up as it goes because maybe there was a plan for that movie that was like, okay, no, that's not working, so what do we do? But didn't they called George Lucas in for this, right? Didn't George Lucas come in and like help finish this movie?
I don't know, but to me, all right, yes, it's just a movie, and I know I get crazy about it, but and yes, Bo, it's Chris Terrio. That's the writer who's on both of them, and I'm sure he's awesome. But I mean, it just it's just a coincidence that those two movies. I immediately drew a parallel between them. I was like, this feels like Justice League when they're running through the movie addressing fan criticism and kind of throwing the plot away to do so.
Yeah, but what happened with Chris Terrio and Batman vs Superman?
I'm sorry, I read Spo's comment.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Are you making noise, Jarrett?
Me? No.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for the laugh, Spo.
So, I just felt like, okay, the biggest problem.
Wow, there's so much hatred. I can't get over
The
this.
biggest problem started with bringing back Palpatine. Okay, and not only did bring him back in the crawl.
The dead speak.
First of all, bringing him back undermines the entire original 6 movies.
I don't
Because
know.
what the prophecy of the chosen one is Anakin Skywalker
They
not the
undid
chosen
the
one? Is
prophecy.
Luke not the chosen one? Who's the chosen one?
It was the whole magic of it.
I can't sit here and to completely disagree with that because the whole Star Wars saga, and I hate to get it because I know we're reviewing just the Rise of the Skywalker. We keep talking about all the 3 new movies and the whole saga and stuff, but I know the whole goal of the whole saga was it was the Skywalker saga, and it was the Skywalker name that was supposed to bring balance to the Force and so on and so forth. Does that still hold true? I don't know. I mean, I guess if we wanted to get really detailed and really into the nitty gritty of like, oh well, but Luke's and Hayden Christensen, she's got all the Skywalkers in her, and I don't know. Maybe you can make sense of it if you really wanted to.
Philip said something interesting. He said this movie takes a lot of mental gymnastics to get. I'm gonna move Jarrett and his weird oral sex so it sounds away from
Not
this.
making any sounds.
I hear it now. Now that Spo pointed out, I can't unhear it. Someone's having a good time over there. But
Can you make the argument then Ben Solo, who has obviously Skywalker genes in him, was really the one that kind of helped do that too?
it's like Phil said, a lot of mental gymnastics to make it make sense. Like the thing is, my whole problem with this is, why do it? Like
it was a Hail Mary pass. 'Cause
like
it was-
no,
it
but
was
why
like-
do these 3 movies? That's what I'm wondering after this. Like
It could because they just paid what $5 billion.
yeah, but,
they were
but
gonna,
like
they have to get that back.
let's just
It
say
might have been more than that.
there's no like let's go way in the future or way in the past or another part of the galaxy. Like it's just
Because we're gonna, and this is what you want to talk about because of the fans, man. Fans wanted the episodes 7, 8, and 9. They wanted the continuation of the Skywalker saga, and they wanted it with the characters that are still alive before they actually die
you know, and I
in
agree.
real life, not
but,
like in Force life.
But it's like, okay, then why not give us? Okay, you and I, we love what's our favorite TV show together? Our shared favorite TV show
Currently, or
currently?
well, that Mandalorian's too easy.
No. You and I watched this
what do we
TV
watch
show,
together?
and it was the best TV show. No, Jarrett can probably answer this question.
Wait, is it nothing sci-fi related?
Nothing sci-fi
Is
related.
it Fuller House?
No.
Oh, Cobra Kai!
Cobra Kai.
Yeah, duh.
Right? Okay, so Cobra Kai,
It was Fuller House.
it was...
No, because Fuller House did something wrong. They pandered, and that's what.
Are we
that's
talking
what-
about Fuller
We're
House
talking
right
about
now
Fuller
for
House,
real?
we're gonna do Fuller House
Hold on.
reviews.
No, but I'm using your example. Fuller House pandered. Cobra Kai took existing characters, built an additional mythology at the right time frame,
Man, we sound like
And then
neckbeards so hard right
made
now.
stories about what we care about, like additional storylines that we were interested in.
What I was gonna say about Cobra Kai, and you can tell me if you agree or not.
Okay.
What they did is that it was when it started, it was about Daniel and Johnny, right? It was about them as old men and how their lives changed. And then by the end of the season, all of a sudden we gave a crap about all the kids.
Yeah.
Like we gave a crap about Johnny's student. What was his name?
Miguel.
Miguel, right?
yeah.
We gave a crap about Daniel's daughter and how and Johnny's son,
yeah.
and also the girl who's the football player's daughter.
Yeah.
You know the big
But
girl.
that's just good. That's just really good writing.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to make Daniel Student Johnny's son.
No.
They didn't have to make Miguel the good guy that was kind of showing the dark side.
But
and
even
they didn't have to even
look at Miguel.
Daniel's daughter,
Miguel's
yeah.
nobody. He's not related to. He could be
Right.
Ray, for example.
Right,
He's
right,
not
right.
related to anybody. But what they did is they brought in the original characters. They said, okay, here's why you're here. Okay, so let's get that out of the way, and here's how these new characters relate to the old characters,
Right.
and they build that bond. This movie, they were like, oh, here's Han. We're gonna get rid of him because we don't want to pay for
That was Harrison
Yeah.
Ford. That was, could you just fucking kill me already?
Yeah, but
I don't want to be in this movie anymore.
they got rid of him immediately. It's like they showed you, oh yeah, Han's a deadbeat, Luke's a loser, and Leia's Republic totally collapsed instantly. You know what I mean? So that's what they show all of our heroes. That's what they think of our heroes, right?
Yeah.
They brushed them aside immediately and said, no, buy these new toys, and it didn't work. Like you never got the connection. I still don't understand what Rey and Poe, Finn and Poe are doing in the movie. I don't understand what their function is.
Because you have to have some sort of character that's not. I mean, I guess you don't have to, but
But they didn't do anything with
you
it.
have to have somebody that's not Force related. You know what I mean? You know, like the Han and the Chewie. You know,
Like
not,
the
not
only-
that I'm calling Finn Chewie.
The only thought out character dynamic was really Rey and Kylo. Like everything else was just like window dressing. I don't know. It just the whole trilogy is pointless to me. They screwed up. They brought back Palpatine, which means they spent 6 movies, the Skywalkers, trying to get rid of Palpatine, and that didn't do anything. Now Force ghosts come back. They're more powerful than they were when they were dead. And also, they ran total roughshod over the Force. I get it. You want to bring new powers in. Every movie, you bring a couple powers in. But basically, they said, oh, the Force can do literally anything. And also, Rey, just because of her bloodline, right, can do all this stuff. Like, what about Luke's bloodline? Luke is Anakin's, the Chosen One's son, right? And he can't like do what Anakin do innately. He has to learn. He has to fail over and over again. The original trilogy is him failing. You know, and this we have Rey. Oh, just because. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, you're a Palpatine. I forget what I said in the last movie. You're a Palpatine. Like, oh my God, I cringed so hard when they said
I
that.
don't see. This is the bigger issue at hand here is because you're such a big fan, and so I'm gonna say
I love too much.
I go into these movies differently than you do. I really do. I go in saying, okay, it's never gonna live up to anything you want it to be. It's never gonna do that. You know, it really, it's hard, man. It's really fucking hard. Like, you have a great imagination. I consider myself to have a great imagination. We love Star Wars so much that we probably, the three of us, could say, I'm sorry, four of us, sorry, Jared, forgot you're there.
Nah, that's fine.
Could sit here and say, you know what, we could write a better Star Wars movie than that. And then when time comes, it's not fucking easy. And I mean, you said that before. It's just not, it's Star Wars is Star Wars. You have a lot writing on it. If you just walk into the movie saying, you know what, I'm going to see a Star Wars movie, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like,
Yeah, but
you're nitpicking so hard that you're making it unenjoyable
I'm really
for
not
yourself.
nitpicking that hard.
You're delving very deep.
What's deep? Okay, a character who died. Why is he back? Is that a deep question?
No.
How did he get back? Is that a deep question?
No, there's particular things you're delving into, and I feel like if you just sat back and be like, okay, that was cool, that was all right, you might enjoy it
but
more.
the thing is, I was like that until they couldn't land the ship. When they couldn't land the ship, I was like, you know what? If they make this awesome, like if they really have the balls to bring everybody back, let's get Liam Neeson's back, let's get Samuel L. Jackson back.
I was hoping for that.
Let's get Ray Park back. You know what I mean?
That was apparently that was a cut scene in the reshoots. Was Anakin Hayden Christensen had and this was a rumor going on amongst many sites that he had an actual scene as probably a Force Ghost, as a Bluey, as a Force Ghost, and it was like awesome, and it was like some of his best work as Anakin Skywalker ever apparently, and they cut it, they got rid of it, and they just used him as a voiceover with the rest of them. This is what. So now, Jarrett, let me say this to you. I said this to them earlier before we started the stream. If they would have taken any of the good parts that you liked from Force Awakens and any of the good parts that you liked from Last Jedi and put that together and made that episode 7 and then split this last movie into 2 so that they can actually stretch out and go into the scenes and not make it feel rushed and make that episodes 8 and 9 respectively, would it have been better for you?
I enjoyed Force Awakens when it came out because I liked it. It was doing what the only thing that Hollywood knows how to do. When you're handing over an IP or making a sequel 30 years later, you have to introduce some original content from the older versions and then hand it off to somebody new. If they had progressed the way that they should have, where they handed it off to Rey and Finn and Poe and continued that story with good writing, then I probably would have enjoyed it more. They set up stuff in Force Awakens that never paid off. And it also never got explained, which makes it frustrating as a viewer because you're like, well, now I'm never going to get that answer. And I don't care about, comic, one-offs that they're going to make and novels that are going to tangentially, explain something. It's like, as a casual viewer, you want to go in and you want to get the answers from the films alone. For the Marvel movies, like Kevin Feige is saying that the next set of Marvel movies, you're going to have to watch all the Disney Plus shows for them all to make sense. And I think that's crappy. The problem that I agree with Richie is that it made no sense that they just brought the villain back. And there was one thing that I was hoping that could have redeemed this film, which was, and Richie's probably the only one that's going to get this reference. You know the episode of the Justice League cartoon where the entire Justice League is going to fight the entire Legion of Doom and they're in the stadium and then they zoom in on that tiny little kid and he goes, "Get him!" like right before they start fighting. When she was going, "Be with me, be with me, be with me," and there was all those friggin' people in the stands rooting on Palpatine, a Force Ghost Jedi fight like on what's the planet in Attack of the Clones?
Geonosis.
Yeah, on Geonosis would have been dope. I'm not saying it would have fixed the movie, but you set yourself up for something cool like that, and all you did was just have Rey do close-up magic and pass over the lightsaber that we still don't know how it came back.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I actually am really upset about that there was this big thing in The Force Awakens where that's a story for another time. When? When is the other time? Like,
never. The time is never.
It's over. It's gone.
It's never.
How do you talk like this? I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Anne-Marie called me a miserable son of a bitch because it's like I hate on these movies. But I just want them to be good, and I get upset when they do things that are stupid. You know what I mean? That like when they make odd decisions that, there's so many things. Okay, the dumbest thing in this movie was the knife. That was
Why is a 1,000-year-old dagger pointing to a ship that crashed 30 years ago?
That made no sense.
Why is that dumb? That's like super Indiana Jones-ish.
No, but the timeline doesn't make up. You want...
Why not? Because didn't somebody have that dagger? I kind of forget the dagger thing, but didn't somebody have that?
Yeah,
and
but
they were finding their own way, and then they got fucking killed.
yeah,
or whatever,
but the problem is the problem of. Oh, I watched that girl. What's her name? Jenny Nicholson. Is that her name?
Uh-huh.
She did like an hour and a half just ripping this apart. But she said, she goes, do we realize how big the Death Star is? How do you know where to stand where that actual thing's gonna work? There's so many problems with that. Also, it's like it doesn't even matter because Dio had it. Yeah. He had the map. And also, what's these guys' obsession with maps? It's like it's like we got a map for Luke Skywalker. Oh, we only have part of the map. You have some of the map. It's like the whole first movie was about a map. Then we're back to the map again. And it's like, oh, Rey's transmitting the map because it was already in Luke's X-Wing.
You know, when he pulled out the Sith Wayfinder, I thought it was a Sith holocron.
Me too.
And I got such a chubby, and I was like, and it was not. But, you know, it's kind of the same. I don't know. I liked it. I really liked it. Yeah, it's got its flaws, but, you know, so are the other movies.
I enjoyed it. I'm not saying I enjoyed it. I had a very good time in the movie theater. You know what I mean? I thought the fight choreography was great. It looked beautiful.
Did it make up for the lightsaber battles that were missing in episode 8?
No, because there's no stakes in these movies. That's the other problem. That's why you can't feel anything.
They don't commit.
Like when Chewbacca died, I almost felt something, and they brought him back immediately. Like they're so afraid to do anything with this movie. Like, do you remember like the first lightsaber battle we ever see in the original trilogy? Obi-Wan dies.
Yeah.
Like, who's supposed to be our strongest guy in the movie, like our best qualified good guy. He dies. He doesn't make it.
But I mean, it doesn't die as much as he gives himself into the Force.
Right,
You know
but
what I
we
mean?
see that like lightsaber battles have a permanence to them. You know what I mean? Like then when Luke fights Darth Vader, you go, oh, you're terrified. You know what I mean? Like it's as a kid watching that, it's terrifying. And then you go, and Luke gets maimed. Like Luke almost like has to kill himself to just escape that battle. It just shows you the permanence. And then the last one, he takes out Vader. You know what I mean? It's like they're showing you like at the end of these battles, something happens. In these movies, the battles have no permanence, and when they almost did, like when she killed Kylo Ren, right? They undid it immediately. Like, why? What is their deal with no stakes? Now, the lightsaber battles were good. Adam Driver is so good at it. Oh my god!
You know what? I really like the overhand style of sabering, and she was doing it too. I don't know if you caught that, but she was doing it as well with that overhand blocking and swiping and kind of thing. Like, you never really saw that as much here and there, but that was like his thing. You know, was this kind of movie?
He was great. I would have loved to have seen a scene with him and Hayden Christensen, who was also really good at the lightsaber stuff.
Really good.
You know what I mean? But like that scene where at the end where he kills off the Knights of Ren for being useless and pointless.
You know, I never brought this up that night, and I meant to tell you this too. When he first got surrounded, and you knew he didn't have a lightsaber, did you think he was going to force repulse? Because I totally thought he was going to force repulse. Like, just go, boom!
That would have been cool.
That would have been fucking awesome. Are you kidding me? Okay, so now here's another question. Would you have hated the force healing thing if you didn't watch the episode of... Should I say that? Well, because this is like...
No, everybody's seen the Mandalorian.
Okay.
Spoilers.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
I didn't see it.
He told me about it after the movie.
This is why I'll tell you why I hated it. I'll tell you why I hated it.
Okay.
If that would have been like the power they brought into this movie, they'd say, okay, Rey read the Jedi texts, and they would have explained that maybe, like, and I can do this now because I read the Jedi texts, right? I would have been okay with that because the Jedi texts are something we haven't really seen in other movies. But the thing is, why haven't any other characters done that in the original trilogy?
Yeah, but you can't say that, Richie, because in episodes 1 and 2 and 3 we saw things that we never really saw before.
They didn't have that.
But they explained
it. If they
it.
just kept, like, if they would have just done Force Awakens 3 times, like pumping the same shit out.
No, I understand.
Again,
No,
you have to add.
I know they have to add new stuff, but I felt like they were really pushing it. Like the stuff they added was kind of ridiculous.
I don't know. I liked it.
I like the
there's no
I like the
explanation for it.
force
I liked
healing
it.
thing. It makes sense because she had those sacred texts. Maybe it was a power that was lost for years. You know, maybe it was just a new thing.
That you know what, but that didn't bother me nearly as much as the.
He's had healing in the games forever. It's
Yeah,
like,
you know that's fine. That didn't bother me near, because also like we talk about saving life, and like we know Palpatine's got some sort of healing juju, but what really bugged me was the being able to transmit things through the Force, like Force email. Force
I
mail.
haven't made my mind up about that yet.
Not email, but snail
but
mail.
I'm going to tell you now. I liked the Force connection thing that they
dyad?
like. You know, when like the water was appearing on his hand from when she was like, you know, by the. You know what I mean? Like I kind of grew to like that. What kind of made me question, and this is why I'm not decided on it yet, was when the lightsaber thing.
I hated that. I hated.
You know, that
like,
might have been a little much. I was
then
kind of
just-
like, is that cool or is that stupid?
You know what would have been
you
cooler
know?
than that? Because that just was infuriating to me. Like that just makes no sense.
Yeah.
What would have been cooler than that? We're discussing this today. Is if he showed up and he had Luke's green lightsaber. That's and so, okay, this is why Luke never had it because Kylo has it. He just doesn't use it because he was a bad guy.
you know what? The sap in me like kind of liked it. Like the whole like they had that connection. Like they were
That's why I'm undecided.
They were I was gonna be so sappy. They were like soulmates in the Force. You know? And they had this connection that was like that transcended like, everything else.
That's why I'm
they were one in the Force. They were one.
Soulmates, Force mates. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I liked it, but I agree. It was definitely, could have been better.
I'm
but
still
I liked
undecided
it.
on it.
You
For
know?
the record, I've only seen the movie in the theaters once.
What's up, Muff? You're Jarrett. What were you saying? You just talking to me?
Yeah. But in The Last Jedi, it's made very clear that Snoke is the one that's connecting them mentally. So how are they all of a sudden doing it on their own?
No.
But no,
Palpatine
it
says in
wasn't.
the beginning that it was him that was doing it the whole time, and Snoke was just a pawn.
Yeah, and then it was just like a Snoke in a box.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't think Palpatine didn't realize till the end that they were in fact a dyad.
I think Snoke was just a
He
way
was
of-
surprised, too.
Palpatine was too weak to be in the position that Snoke was in. And I think that he was using these Snoke figures to keep him in the loop and in the game while he really couldn't be.
It's
at
just
the same time.
so convoluted.
I don't know.
There's so
Yeah.
much crap that they have to go through to explain
And
things.
everybody's complaining about the way he died was so stupid and that wouldn't be possible. I'm like, why wouldn't it be possible for him to die with his own Force lightning? The motherfucker was just taking out an entire fleet with his Force lightning. Why wouldn't it not peel him
Because
away?
it was not exciting. It wasn't climactic. It was just.
I get that point, but they were saying that could never happen. Like
she-
fans were saying that he could never die by his own Force lightning. Why?
She kills him with ease, and then they kiss, and then he dies.
I like the kiss. No one likes the kiss. I like the kiss.
You know what I got from the kiss?
I don't get why.
I like it now.
It's like people didn't see that they had a connection for the last two
No,
movies.
but like
I think
you
they
know what?
totally
I don't
did.
know
I liked
why,
it.
but the first time I saw them kiss, I went, oh no, because I got the brother sister vibe more than anything from them.
Interesting.
Throughout the entire thing,
The cringiest part.
it was like watching Luke and
What's the
Leia
cringiest
kiss
part? What's the
and
cringiest
Empire
part of
after
the
you already
movie?
knew.
What's the cringiest part of this movie for you?
The cringiest part of this movie?
Yeah.
Oh man, you might have to give me a minute on this one. I'd have to go through it.
I kind of think I know what my cringiest part of this movie
Cringiest
is.
part.
When she says she's Rey Skywalker, I went, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I minded that much.
I liked it. I thought it was okay.
That was a McClunky.
Indiana Jones 5, by the way, is he
It's
he
like-
finds the two lightsabers in the sand and
It's like it could be viewed as like did she look to Luke and Leia as like almost like foster parents? Could it have been almost as like maybe Kylo and her were soulmates and it's like a love thing? You know what I mean? Like it's like you don't know. It
I
could
really
be
think we
any
still
way.
have a big Mary Sue problem with this, and I hate that term, but we still have a Mary Sue problem with this. Like
where's a Mary Sue?
a Mary Sue is a fan fiction character. I think it comes back to a woman named Mary Sue who wrote herself into like a Star Trek thing. Like she wrote her own
Okay.
Star Trek stories, and how she was the most liked person on the Enterprise, and how she was good at everything. She was the best pilot, the best gunner.
I'm not a Trek guy, by the way. I'm sorry to all the Trekkies out there. It just was never my thing. Sorry.
Yeah, like and so that's
I like Spo's thing.
because the Force is a Band-Aid that can fix anything, Spo.
Yeah.
That's why. But so she literally has no challenge with anything. Like, she is excellent at everything she does. She faces zero adversity. None. She's great at everything.
Okay.
And we've seen the other characters in these movies struggle. Only the oldest characters, only Yoda, who spent like lifetimes, and Palpatine, who was at a total dedication his entire life to this one goal, were able to do the things that she can do innately. I just never got that from the movies, that the Force was something that you just had and that you were good at. I always got that, like, it had to be trained, like you had to work at it, and then even then you weren't very good at it, and you were more of a danger to yourself.
What the timeline was between The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker? Like how much time had passed?
What?
I heard 10 years.
10 years?
That's a lot
That's
of
a big.
years.
That's a big deal.
That
What
is
are
a
you
big
saying?
deal. 10 years? Like, what indication are we supposed to get that that's 10 years?
I don't know.
Why? But why does everything have to be explained to us outside of the movie? That's what bothers me about it.
That's a huge thing that I have with
Yeah,
like
but
this
nothing was
movie
explained to us
and
in
other
the
stuff. Just to begin with, which is
That's a lie.
like after movies come out, then it's like the director addressed this and the writer addressed this and the actors addressed this. It's like we shouldn't need outside information to understand a 2.5-hour movie.
100%. You're right.
Okay, Spo just brought up Palpatine's son.
That's what I was gonna bring up. I forgot. Where is he? Why isn't he Force sensitive?
Oh, that's another movie that we have to pay to go see and hate.
That's a story for another time.
Yes. You know what? There was a guy earlier.
Shut up,
I don't know if he's still
Baskin,
here.
Go
But
right
there was a
far.
guy named Chris that asked where we would like to see the Star Wars go from here. And I might give a surprising answer to you right now. I might, seriously.
Go.
It was just announced yesterday, 2 days ago, that they're going to start. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think it was an official announcement that they're going to release a Star Wars movie every year starting in 2022. I hate that. Absolutely hate that. I don't think they should do that. I think it's, first of all, I think there's not enough time in between of what we just saw and to what they're going to do. 3 years is not enough time. After what after you know how many people hated it and how many people loved it, that really needs to settle like an episode 1, 2, and 3 thing. Because if you don't, I won't say any names, but there was somebody in this room that really didn't like episodes 1 and 2 and 3 when they first came out, and now swears that he loves them and never said that. But he's in this room.
Me?
Yep. And I
What?
have proof of that.
What proof do you have?
Call Damien Scroll right now. Call Damien Scroll right now because I had this whole
I
conversation.
can't. I'm on the phone with Jeff.
I'll call Damien. But no, but seriously, I think that for the future of this movie, there needs to be more time.
I saw
elapsed, so.
episode 1 11 times in the movie theater. I don't know what gives you the impression I don't like it. I saw it 11. I make fun of it because it's funny, but I like it.
Yeah, but you'll see like the Rise of Skywalker like 3 times in the theater.
I don't think so.
you hate
I think
it.
I'm gonna see it one more time.
Yeah.
Because I really.
Well, how many times did you see The Force Awakens?
I saw that maybe 3 or 4 times.
And you didn't really like that.
Because I thought I was missing something. I thought that if I kept watching it, I would start to like it. I felt like there was something wrong with me.
Did you not like Attack of the Clones either when it first came out?
Oh, I was blown away by Attack of the Clones.
There's one scene in the I know we're totally getting off topic, but one scene in the Attack of the Clones that still, every time I see it, gives me chills down my back.
Yoda showing up with.
Nope.
Well, that's not it.
Nope.
Is it the is Geonosis
No,
scene?
that's a different kind of chill.
Is it the Geonosis scene?
This is like a fuck, and it actually has more to do with the music than it does with the actual acting, even though it
What is
contributes. It's when Shmi Skywalker dies in his arms,
Oh,
and
I
you
love
hear the
that.
upright basses or the cellos, and he looks up like this. And I'm like, oh, there it is. I see it.
That's it.
That was the
good
time.
stuff.
I
Chill
always,
every time.
I wish that scene was like 10 minutes of him just killing people.
Yes.
I just wish that.
I killed all of them.
Yeah, I wanted to see
The women and
that.
the children.
Like imagine we saw like what we saw in Rogue One, like but with sand people.
And you
like,
hated
Anakin
Rogue
was
One too, right?
To me, Rogue One is 2 minutes long. Rogue One.
The last 2 minutes.
Rogue One is that scene of Vader in the hallway. I can just skip the rest of the movie.
And the Mustafar scene. I love the
really,
Mustafar scene.
really liked Rogue One.
with the dad humor. There was nothing wrong with it. It was like I could take it or leave it.
I just like that it was like, hey, here, we're gonna make a Star Wars film for you guys that doesn't really necessarily have to be about the Force or about lightsabers or about anything like that. In a sense, it was just kind of like, here, these are the people that were living in this time that
cool.
did the job that the Jedi could do like that, but without the Force and lightsaber. And I thought it was really
I'm
cool.
gonna counter that for a second because that's fine. But like, I don't like the sandwiching in of like, ooh, here are these movies, let's sandwich in. Like, that's why I like The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
It's like, almost has nothing to do with anything that took place in the movies. It's this whole other thing. The Mandalorian has more to do with the Clone Wars cartoon, which to me, I think that's awesome.
Where do you want The Mandalorian to go from here?
I think the end of it, spoilers, I'm gonna spoil the last episode of Mandalorian. When Gus Fring took out the Darksaber, I was all about that. Because that's a callback to the Clone Wars.
I think I might have
And
given
to
Jessica
Rebels.
a black and blue because I went, oh my god, like I was freaking out.
was
Sorry,
good stuff.
Jess, if you're watching. I don't know if you're watching. But...
I was very impressed by that show. Also, is that show better than any of the movies? No. It's just that it is aware of what it is. It's a week to week.
They did a very good job of saying, hey, there's no lights. Well, okay, but they're towards the end. But there's no lightsabers. There's no really like a lot of like force powers in your face, except for the couple times that the child uses it. Which I'm a little upset about, by the way. In a second, I'll tell you that in a second. But this was just about like, okay, hey, this is people without all those powers. Like you just have a guy that's a really badass fucking soldier that was trained his whole life to be this way.
I'd almost.
And it's cool and it works.
I almost think that, if I'd rather have, since it's not possible, they've produced 5 movies now, Disney. It's not possible for them to make an amazing Star Wars movie. I mean, some of them are good, some of them are not good, but they haven't made one that's like amazing.
So you think that it's out of the question? It'll never happen again. Like it'll never be a very good Star Wars movie in our lifetime.
I think if no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like what they've shown me so far. It seems like they are having a better time, because all we have to judge, we have 3 things to judge them by, right? We have the movies, right? We have Rebels, and we have The Mandalorian. I like Rebels. I think it's great. I love The Mandalorian. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that they're piggybacking off Rebels with The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. I just feel like maybe they're better at telling that kind of story on television with.
Well, Jon Favreau he's just.
Yeah. But
Hold
I'm
on
saying
all the way.
I'm saying maybe that's better for expectation management. You know what I mean? I think
Because you can stretch it out too. I guess
you can stretch it out. You can tell a bunch of little stories.
I'm actually really excited for the Kenobi series just
Me
for that
too.
reason.
And there's rumored to be an Anakin series now. Like, great. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. Like, if I almost feel like at this point it's better because everybody's into streaming. And yeah, Spo, I would love them to hire George Lucas for one. I don't know if he wants to.
Oh, that was just talked about today. Because I think that Disney is trying to contract him now to do Star Wars movies.
That'd be cool.
But I mean, like the TV shows, like think about it. Like, me and Jarrett were talking about it. Like Jarrett didn't like the first few episodes of The Mandalorian. But the thing is that you still have 5 more to go. And the law of averages, to quote Spinal Tap, is a little better for you because it's not like, oh, I hated this movie and that was it. That's the big event. You know what I mean? It's like there's enough variety there. And you know what? Someone said, oh, there's going to be nice, Bo. Someone said, oh, they're going to make a Rose Tico TV show. I said, you know what? Great. Because if you're someone who likes Rose Tico, that's good for you. But, for the people that don't like it,
We talked about that, right?
No, but you know what I mean?
We didn't hate her, but it was just she was just done really wrong. And then they completely Jar Jarred her for Rise of the Skywalker. She had 4 minutes of screen time. And Daisy Ridley was hot in this one.
I love Daisy Ridley.
Yeah, she's so hot in this one.
I don't know. I didn't understand. But I can't even say it for Rose. I don't understand what half the people in that movie are doing there.
And then in addition to that, let's try and figure out how we paint everybody else that we've created out of a corner and add 14 new people.
Yeah.
Let's add Felicity. Let's add the horse lady.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that refers to her Felicity, by the way.
But she was Daft Felicipunk. That's what I was calling her. But it was just like they kept giving you even more stuff on top of the stuff that was already confusing.
You know what? You're bringing up Felicity, Kerry Russell's character. that would have made you happy, actually. If they would have treated Poe and Finn and Rose like they did Kerry Russell, where it was just kind of like a passing by character, like the bounty hunter in episode 2, the changeling, or the guy in the
Sam
diner.
Weasel.
You know what I mean? Like how they're really cool characters, but they're in passing. Maybe that would have been happier. You would have been happy with that if they were just kind of like, okay, they're there. They come every once in a while like, oh, I love that guy Poe because he was really cool. But I don't know. I actually really like Poe's character.
I love Poe in 9.
I think he's just great all around, But that's my opinion.
Moving forward, look, I'm glad this. I was happy that this movie was better than the last two. I was happy that they addressed a few things, and I got to give them credit. I know I'm picking it apart, but I sincerely think that they did the best they could with what they were given. I wish they picked a different Band-Aid than Palpatine, because that just really annoyed me as someone who was a big fan of George Lucas. That just annoyed me that they went back to that and because it really undermines a few things that happened in the original trilogy, and there's no way around that. There's no way around that.
I didn't look at it as a Band-Aid. Maybe they could have gone about certain things differently with that. But I'll tell you one thing about Palpatine that never happened to me in any of the movies.
What?
I was scared of him.
Oh, please.
No, dude, he was creepy in this
Tell
one.
me, answer this question. Answer honestly.
Discomfort. Go ahead.
Answer honestly.
Go ahead.
Do you think that the plan from Force Awakens was to bring Palpatine back?
No.
Yeah, not at all.
No, and you want my honest opinion? You know where I think that actually came from?
Where?
George Lucas.
That's fine, but
I don't think so.
I just think that it just showed me that if someone said to, okay, Ray, you're not a film person, right? You don't work in Hollywood or anything like that. If someone said to you, Ray, we're gonna make a new Star Wars trilogy and we want you to oversee them, right? What's the first thing you do?
In what aspect?
Philip knows what I'm gonna say. What's the first thing you do?
What's the arc?
Yeah. What are these movies about?
Oh, so you're not. So I'm overseeing what they're doing.
Big
I'm
story?
not coming up with the idea
What's
myself.
the big story?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's
the starting line to the finish line?
What is this new trilogy about?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the problem with this is we don't know what it's about because it's about nothing. It's about Rey is great.
So if somebody comes to me and says, okay, this is what we have for episodes 7, 8, and 9, and respectively of what just came out, in the last few years, I would have said that fucking, the second Death Star shit, third Death Star shit, Star Killer, bye, go. That's the first, because I'm going to tell you, rewatching The Force Awakens going into Rise of Skywalker, and when I've rewatched a few times, that movie goes awry when the Resistance shows up. Right when Kylo takes Daisy really onto the ship. When the Resistance shows up, that's where it starts to lose its lackluster. And when you get to the base where they're crowded around like they were in Return of the Jedi and all that stuff, and with the Star Killer base, it actually overshadowed everything cool that happened.
I think you're overthinking this. Me and Phil, I think, well, maybe you're not, but our opinion, I think we share the same opinion. There's one big problem with Force Awakens. Okay. And I can sum it up in 2 words. No Luke. That is the problem with Force Awakens. That whole movie should have been Luke's movie. That should have been...
Okay, but so now that goes back to what I'm saying. If you would have taken the best parts of Force Awakens and the best parts of The Last Jedi and put that together for episode 7 and then split Rise of Skywalker into 2 for 8 and 9 so that they can take their time and delve out and stretch out the things you want to see.
If they would have given us...
Would that have been a home run for you?
Yeah, if they would have given us the first movie, which is
I agree.
Old people walking around kicking ass, Han, Leia, Luke, and Chewie, just like walking around in like one last adventure, and then they start killing them off, and then whatever you do, that you gave us that, and Luke is just wrecking people with the Force. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just give me that, and wherever you want to go after this, I'm in. But because of that like initial betrayal of like you made me watch a whole movie, and where the first line of the crawl is Luke Skywalker has vanished, and then you give him no dialogue in the movie. Yeah. He doesn't do anything, and then you give me and I was okay. And the big thing was, all right, don't worry about it, because the next movie, oh boy,
that'll fix 7.
And the next movie, and he's a loser. He's like our childhood hero, and I'm not gonna say they ruined our childhood. I had a great childhood, but Ryan Johnson can't ruin my childhood. All right, it happened already, guys. Stop saying that. It's ridiculous. He didn't ruin your childhood. He just made a crappy movie. It happens. But anyway,
There's been a couple comments on here about ruining childhoods. By the way, I saw it earlier.
Stop saying that. He didn't ruin your childhood. He didn't ruin.
He ruined his own childhood.
You know, just be thankful we got to live at the same time as George Lucas. That's the way I look at it. Just be thankful that.
That's the way I feel. And that's what I think. Maybe that's why I enjoy this, because, like, dude, I get to go see Star Wars in the theaters. Like, this is like, I wasn't alive for episodes 4 and 5. I was born in 1982, to show my age a little bit. And so I didn't get to experience Star Wars like my dad did, like seeing it for the first time.
Very good, Leon. Very good. Leon just said Ryan Johnson ruined my first marriage.
That might be the comment of this entire session. There's been a few good ones.
Yeah. So, where I would like this to go, you know, yes, it could have been better, whatever. I would like this to go. I'm with the internet on. I want to see the Knights of the Old Republic movie starring Keanu Reeves.
I don't know. I want a Darth Bane trilogy.
Darth Bane, great. Let's do all that. Like, those are things I've never seen on the screen. Those are already good stories. What's his name? Drew Karpyshyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that guy can write.
He knows how to do Star
Yeah,
Wars.
that guy can
Would
write.
you be against a Kyle Katarn spinoff?
Hell no.
That'd be awesome, right?
Hell no.
Okay, and
Can I play Kyle
where-
Katarn?
yeah. You
Wait,
could.
hold on. Ready? It's locked. How's that? Do I got the part? Do I get it?
That's really funny.
Jan, it's locked. It's locked.
Everybody tag.
Gotta find another way. Can't go that way.
You know
Do
what?
I
I
get-
actually
do I get it?
can't
Do I
wait
get
to
it?
go home and rewatch this just to see how good that sounds on speakers, because I'm in front of him and it sounds awesome. That is really cool.
Richie,
Hold on, one more.
Reborn?
Baffanava.
Can you do your Lando for me?
How you doing, Chewbacca?
That's it. That was better than 9.
Yeah. So
Chewbacca.
if anybody has any questions, now's the time to ask, because we're winding down here. We could talk about this until we're blue in the face, but I want to have a sandwich. So.
Well, until the first question comes, I want to say one thing about where it's going. If they're going to do these, like Ryan Johnson's doing a trilogy. We all know that, right? Ryan?
No, there's no way he's doing a trilogy.
Oh, you don't know about that? No, it's locked and loaded.
No.
Ryan Johnson is doing a Star Wars trilogy.
No.
You can look it up on IMDb.
Stop it.
And if that's going to happen, he should make all 3 episodes. He should film all of them in one shot for the way he wants to do it, and then release them.
I agree.
Because he shouldn't do one and then get the feedback, and
You
then
know
do
what?
one and get the feedback.
You
Do
know
it
what?
all at the same time and then release
I
it.
will agree with you.
That's true, yeah.
Let him do whatever he wants. Don't touch the original characters.
Fine.
Do your own thing.
And whatever he's gonna do, wherever Star Wars movies comes out from now on, trilogy, not trilogy, whatever, just do what you want to do. Don't say anything to anybody. Don't even let them know it's being made, and just be like, oh hey, by the way, in 3 months Star Wars is coming out, and then just fucking release all of them.
That's it.
Film them all at the same
Sergeant
time,
Rock
that's it.
says Ryan Johnson is out, and that's on the internet, and I just read it on the internet, which makes it true.
And it's also, I also heard that they're moving away from trilogy format. They're just going to keep making films that all interconnect with each other.
Spo says there's going to be more Star Wars episodes than iPhones.
He's the Yoko Ono of the.
Universe. All right. I guess any questions for us before? Like, I don't know what you'd want to ask us. We don't know anything. You've listened to us talk for the last hour. We don't know what we're talking about.
I also don't understand why Ghost Han didn't have a hairbrush. Neither did Ghost Luke. Both their hairs were messy.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. But that actually bothered me a little bit. Why was Han there? I don't understand. How did any?
He was a memory. That you know what? You know what's so funny? They did that in was it Batman v Superman?
Yeah.
That was the Kevin Costner scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, you're
no,
right.
but that makes that not that it makes more sense. I think that was a little bit more excelled. This is Star Wars, where like people come back, but they're blue. You know what I mean? And I just thought that was weird. Like he didn't have anything Force related. I don't know.
I'll tell
was
you.
it like by injection with Leia, and then he was like, oh, I can come back as a ghost now too because I heard it. You know.
I'll tell you this is the thing. These movies have, whether you like it or not, they have a format. You know what I mean?
Right.
And these guys really relax with the format. Like There's a way. There are things we know to look for in a Star Wars movie. The things that like there are. I hate to say this, but there are rules. Like okay, for example, like if Ray, you're a musician, right?
Yeah.
If someone said to you, play a John Mayer solo, right? You would you put on like the Metal Zone and start tapping? No, right? Like I feel like that they were doing a little bit of that. Like they were really kind of pushing the format.
You know what? Maybe they overdid it on purpose. Maybe they said, okay, here's an idea, but how could we really make this like fucking over the top for everything we did?
Ronnie Pino, I would totally dig a Michael Bay Star Wars movie. That would probably be amazing. That would just be like, no, that would be awesome.
Ronnie Pino.
Oh, you just got Royd.
Ronnie Pino also just said we should have a Werner Herzog 10-hour Star Wars movie, which I would love. That was the one thing I was bummed about on Mandalorian is that they killed him, and now I don't get to hear his voice anymore.
Favreau is on deck, by the way.
Is a complicated profession.
To Sergeant Rock, Favreau is actually on the on-deck circle. I heard that there was a meeting this week or last week.
Why are you talking like you know these things?
Because I read.
What do you read?
I read.
Where does he go?
I fucking read. No, but there was like meetings like Disney and brought him in to say like, okay, where can we go with this whole franchise now? And they're actually bringing him in to make it all awesome. Which would be great.
I just, you know what? Like, okay, I didn't dig these movies. That's okay. They're not for me. I like the other 6. I like the Mandalorian. I hope they do some cool stuff, and I hope they seriously leave the storyline of these characters alone, because I feel like they're meddling with it too much, and it's making you watch the original movies like, wait, why didn't they just do this? You know what I mean? It's making it not make sense. So I'm gonna. Hopefully, I might watch this movie one more time in the theater before it goes away, and then I think I'm gonna close the book on this trilogy and never watch it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Never.
I think it's these movies are a Star Wars cover band, and the original. It's like, you know, we have the original Beatles albums, and then someone says, "Oh, you know what? I wrote a bunch of songs, and I paid Paul McCartney and Ringo a lot of money to play on them, so I'm just gonna call them like some new Beatles albums." And you go, no, you don't do that. Like, the Beatles are the Beatles, and I feel like without George Lucas, it's a fan film. That's how I feel. But you know, a guy like
with the 10-year-old you hate these movies?
Wait, a guy like no way. The 10-year-old me had way better movies planned than these. But the Dave Filoni is our only hope. I'm just telling you that. Like,
Dave Filoni is the Clone Wars, what are the Rebels guy?
He co-did Meal to Star Wars. It's the biggest franchise in history. You know what I mean? It's like, it's already appealing to everybody. You don't need to cater to people who aren't going to see it, who aren't buying the merch, who aren't going multiple times, who don't buy costumes and go to conventions. Like, you're just catering to people who bitch online about things that really don't have any effect on the movie. So that's my 2 cents.
I have to share this really quick. Well, let me turn it down so that nobody copies.
Anyway, I think we're gonna end now. I'll ask Ray if he's gonna add anything, but I'm sure he will. So I won't ask Ray if he wants to add anything.
Ray was at a meeting last week with Disney.
I gave Phil a bat wing before we started.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna stop on that. How about a round of applause for Jarrett Pressman, a sick Jarrett Pressman who really stuck it out today and was a champion.
Ray has a meeting with Watto in 2 hours.
Yes. Wait, say it again, Jarrett.
This movie has left me scarred and bombed.
There you go. Hey, Ralph. Philip, thank you. Phil Castellano.
Yay.
Ricky, by the way.
Ricky Castellano right over here. And Ray Skywalker.
Roy Skywalker.
All right, guys.
Happy New Year.
Next time. Happy New Year. How do I do the ending? Oh, here we go. Ending.